What did the weird kid in your school do that you'll never forget?
He stabbed someone at a bus stop freshman year of high school. I don't think it was as intense as the rumors about it were, but he definitely had a knife and pulled it. He got expelled and sent to a high school for kids with behavioral mental health issues. Senior year rolls around and he gets sent back to our high school. On the first day of school he shows up in a t-shirt that says, "Stabby is back." Legendary.
He would get almost fully naked to pee in the urinal.
This girl decided she wanted to be pregnant. She proceeded to ask probably half the people in our high school if they would impregnate her, and then when that didn't work she brought a Ziploc bag and asked for guys to jizz in it. Everyone called her sperm bank after that, and I honestly can't remember her real name.
Naruto ran everywhere, told everyone her dad was Harry Potter at age 12, and most memorably, came to school bawling her eyes out because she said she had laid an egg and her parents had eaten it for breakfast.
He had a book where he would write in people that wronged him. I got put in for smelling like soap. Hissed at people in the halls and then bit someone. Edit. Geez, I didn't expect so much attention, but let me answer some questions. Said girl went to my middle school in Chandler, Arizona. It seems like every school has a hisser, laughing my ass off, but she didn't think she was a snake, she was a cat girl.
Bell rings, playground doors open, weird kid walks directly to the center and screams for a full minute. I thought it was weird then, but now I can relate.
Ate a sheep eye we were supposed to dissect in science class. Man oh man.
Ended up in a mental institution because his parents bought him a new mattress, and while removing the old one they found multiple mason jars full of blood, no exaggeration 2 gallons total. There was a police investigation and turn out it was all his blood. His only answer as to why was just in case.
Ate styrofoam, and then, visibly, lied about, denied it when someone pointed it out. Bits of styrofoam came out of his mouth.
Went to a large school, 3,000 students. If anyone said anything to the weird kid that he didn't like, he would stare at you and recite your name and address. A little creepy.
A girl once took out her glass eye and threw it at our French teacher. Edit. Fuck. Just came back from a long dog walk and I see this one blew up, pun intended.
Robbed a gas station dressed as a ninja, armed with a katana. Stole cash from the register, all the cigarettes he could carry, and a bunch of lottery tickets. He then fled across state lines with a 17-year-old girl, he was 19. Not a great result for him.
There was this really mentally fucked up kid I could probably write a book about. He went through a phase where he was obsessed with JFK, printed out pictures of him and taped them to everything, his binder, truck, locker, etc. IDK what happened, but later that year all those pictures changed to pictures of Hitler. He referred to this as the time that the devil overtook him with evil. He did this same shit with William Shatner and a teacher at our school, but the bizarre satanic Hitler obsession takes the cake. He was also banned from the computers because the library lady caught him jerking it to porn.
7th grade. Guy didn't have a pencil for the test and the teacher wouldn't give him one, you need to be prepared, blah. Yeah. The dude took out a paperclip, straightened it out, stabbed himself, and started doing the test using his blood as ink. He was quickly sent to the nurse's office. Edit. Well, thanks for the love everyone. It was kinda a sad situation, the teacher shouldn't have done that, and I think the student was picked on a lot and not very stable in the first place. At an all-school assembly during my freshman year, a motivational speaker posed an easy rhetorical question to the crowd, and the weird kid in my grade unnecessarily shouted out the answer, to every bored person's sudden delight. For some reason, trying to maintain his authority, the speaker asked our weird kid, "What's your name, son?" Without pause, weird kid stood up from his chair and loudly proclaimed, "My name is Booger." This announcement was met with raucous applause and laughter from the entire student body. It was gloriously random and weird. From then on the weird kid was known only as Booger in our small town. It fit him better than Sean, and he fucking owned that name until graduation.
There was this huge guy, tall and wide, in our classes. To support his impressive body, he ate a lot. He'd bring an entire roll of cookies, like 20 plus, and stack them on one side of his desk. Then he would take on bite out of cookie number 1, and put it to the other side of his desk. Then he would take one bite out of the next cookie and place that one on top on cookie number 1. He'd go through the Wale stack, until all cookies were partially eaten and in a neat stack on the other side of his desk. Then he would do it again, take one bite of the top cookie and place that in the original side of the desk, bite the next cookie etc. After maybe 15 minutes of biting and stacking, the whole lot was gone. Now we weren't even supposed to eat in class, but he always got away with it somehow.
Our weird kid and his girlfriend made a list of people in the school they wanted to rape and kill. Shit got investigated real quick, but I don't know what actual punishment they got. Edit. For everyone asking, no, I was not killed unfortunately. I also forgot to add that they put in detail exactly how they were going to kill everyone. Edit 2. I was speaking to my boyfriend about this and he told me that he was actually there when this all kicked off. They were speaking about it in a math class and him and his friends overheard it. They all started talking about it and it got out to the teachers, so sorry for any misinformation in the comments.
Dressed like the Queen of England, hair, shoes, and everything, from elementary to middle, then dressed like a doll for a year, tried to hook up with everyone, got kicked off stage at a talent show for doing a burlesque routine, would work her sexual prowess into every oral report, and her last year she came to school 2 times in just a mini skirt and bra. I didn't know her personally at all, but I've kind of suspected she might have been sexually abused or something. Edit, Elizabeth II.
Could vomit on demand.
During my 6th grade graduation, our class sang a song. Weird kid is standing next to me on stage and suddenly projectile vomits and some of it landed on my shoes. Impressively, he still kept singing while I stood there wide-mouthed in horror and disbelief. I'll never forget all the gasps from the crowd.
Ran around the hallways making pterodactyl noises with his arms raised up behind him like he was swimming butterfly.
I'm from a small town. There was this weird kid who was a year older, but he was so weird that even the younger kids would pick on him. I didn't really know him, but I put him in the weird but harmless category. He graduates, and then decides to rob the local taco time with a shotgun. Well, it is a small town. The kids working at the taco time all know him, and pretty much everybody in the taco time also knows him. He got 2 years.
A new lad in my primary school pretended his real voice was a deep Scottish accent. At some point he found a piece of broken glass and used it to cut my friend with for some reason, and then we never saw him again. Edit, just for clarification, the person he cut was a girl and she came back to school after going to the hospital. Weird kid was never seen again. Edit 2 further clarification, he didn't always use the deep Scottish voice. Usually he would have a normal sounding voice from what I remember, but then he would say to us quietly, "This isn't my real voice, my real voice is like this kind of thing."
Chew the stuck gums under the tables. A few days before a PEP assembly, anonymously posted signs all over school that said, "The cock is coming." Teachers and school administrators were obviously concerned but clueless. Smuggled a live rooster into the assembly and partway through the opening speech at the assembly, whipped it out over his head as it went apeshit. Entire gym full of kids stood up and started chanting, "Cock. Cock. Cock." Was not seen at school for a few days after that.
Spilled his fruit juice on his desk, wiped it with his shirt sleeve, then sucked the juice out of it.
Sold a school Chromebook for Robux. And #X200B. And #X200B. 400 Robux for an investment of $0. Stonks.
Was in the band during some downtime. Some guy kicks off his shoes and socks and bites the ends of his toenails off. Most of the class, casually, migrated towards the other side of the room.
Cut his own hair while in class, mentioned that he would conquer the world with a revolver. Ended up setting fire to his house and was sent to a mental asylum. Pretty mild stuff.
Pulled down his pants in the middle of a public bathroom and span in a circle while spraying piss everywhere and shouting around the WOOORRRLLLD.
Weird kid. Dan was obsessed with cute girl, Casey, for several years. She rejected him for several years. On the bus to a field trip I sat next to him and he was drawing. I glanced over and he was drawing Casey falling off a cliff onto a patch of spikes below. Years later in middle school he also got super mad and threw a desk across the room in English. Not a small desk either. One of those that's a desk chair attached hybrid. Just fucking yeeted it across the room. Was fucking terrified. There's a litany of things he did. But those stand out to me. Edit cause I saw another commenter mention something similar. He also jerked off under a desk in detention once.
Humped my desk for a solid minute while maintaining eye contact with me, and then said, thanks, and just walked away. I'm a guy. This was 15 years ago, on my first day at this new school, and I was just eating lunch at my desk, and this dude just walked up and went to town. No context, no introduction, nothing. Didn't even buy me dinner first. Just wham, bam, thank you desk. One time some kid smeared shit on the walls in the restroom but no one ever found out who did it. P.S. For those of you who assume it was me, it would not be possible since I stopped using school restrooms to take a shit since 4th grade, and this happened 2 years ago when I was in 7th grade. I don't even know how the inside of that restroom looks like.
Poured his juice on the table at lunch and suction cupped his mouth over it and inhaled it all like a Hoover when you put it directly onto a hard floor. He's a lawyer now. We were getting DNA samples in biology. Most of the class used spit, but he tried to squeeze milk out of his nipples. Milk. After that didn't work out, he attempted to get pimple fluid from his pimple. When the teacher noticed and questioned, he answered, I got some out just this morning. This was when we were 14 to 15.
He stabbed me with a number 2 pencil in my collarbone area. I went to the hospital but they said I was fine. My stepdad said I would do anything to get out of school. Fuck both of those guys.
I don't know, I am pretty sure I was the weird kid.
My brother is a high school teacher and he once texted me that he caught a kid cutting his pubic hair in class. Another kid, not even from his class, randomly ran into the classroom, took some binders out of a bookcase and started jumping up and down on them. Then he ran out of the classroom again.
The albino kid in school. He would take off running down the hallway with one hand straight out in front of him and yell, "White lightning." He was weird but everyone liked him.
Apparently he put a teaspoon up his ass in assembly. This is going to sound ridiculous, but during my senior year of high school someone took a huge, and I mean inhumanly huge, shit in one of the girls' bathroom toilets that was far too big to be flushed away. Some kid mentioned seeing it, and in no time somehow the entire school was made aware and gathered around the bathroom trying to get a look at this monstrosity. Picture 50-plus high school kids skipping classes just to try to squeeze into a small women's room to stare in awe at an infamous shit. The crowd got so big and unruly that the administration finally caught on and banned people from that particular hallway for the rest of the day under threat of suspension. I like to believe that all of us were that weird kid on that day.
She barked at people and tried to scratch behind her ears with her foot. AMD sniffed people's butts at recess. She was 14. Spread tuberculosis throughout our Virginia school senior year. Sodomized a duck. Allegedly. Didn't see him after that if I'm remembering it correctly.
He got caught beating it to lowly porn in the library. Edited to clarify it wasn't me. Also, terrifyingly, this blew up. Another edit. Lolicon porn is hentai in which underage-looking female characters are depicted in sexual acts.
He gave me a handful of blue pop rocks. He was actually really sweet.
In 4th grade, a girl ate a whole mechanical pencil next to me. She also regularly ate whole sheets of paper and erasers. The pencil really sticks out in my mind though. Edit, I totally expected this comment to get buried. Thanks for the rewards. Just to clarify, yes, it was the entire mechanical pencil. She took it apart piece by piece and just kinda crunched all the big parts like a candy bar. This girl also thought she was a horse and would gallop, neigh, and fight anyone who said she wasn't. So this was pretty much expected by the time she was my desk partner. I was in economics class and this quiet Asian kid was on his laptop. The head of the school's IT storms into the classroom and starts yelling at him along of the lines of, "You've fucked the whole network." Drags him out of the class and we never saw the kid again.
His desk was in front of mine in Japanese class. He would pop his back acne and eat the puss when he was bored. It was absolutely horrendous and people were pretty mean to him. But in hindsight his mom used to drop him off and handles of vodka and or beer cans would fall out of the car when he got out. He was probably just going through it. But in a strange way.